Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Charles. You're at your time. I'm sorry I have been posting on this channel in a long time. I've been quite busy, but I am back with brand new content. Today we're going to talking about two different death row inmates who were executed this past couple of days. I'm on NBC News. Our first story is going to be out of Alabama. Alabama death James Barber is executed following pause over lethal injection concerns. Alabama death row inmate James Barber was executed early Friday after the U.S. Supreme Court denied his request for a stay over fears that he could be subject to a substantial harm following a series of failed lethal injection attempts in the state. The execution was carried out by lethal injection at MC Home and Correctional Facility in Atmore. The Alabama Department of Corrections said in a statement Barber was pronounced dead by a physician at 1:56 a.m. local time, 2:56 a.m. Eastern time, it said. Barber, 64, had been on death row for almost 20 years after being convicted of murder in the 2001 robbery and killing of Dorothy Epps, a 75-year-old homeowner for whom he worked as a handyman. The execution unfolded after a federal appeal court panel Wednesday rejected in a 2-1 ruling. Barber's request to block his execution over fears that he could be subject to substantial harm. State Attorney General Steve Marshall had agreed with the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruling. Dorothy Epps was brutally murdered 22 years ago. He said in a statement Thursday, the 11th Circuit's decision places us one step closer to justice for this heinous crime. Barber's execution was Alabama's first since a pause on capital punishment prompted by a series of failed lethal injections was lifted in February. In a phone interview with NBC News on Saturday, Barber expressed concerns over whether the state was able to carry out his execution without incident. I have further amount of trepidation about the process that they obviously haven't perfected. To be at their hands and be the first one after they didn't do a true review of the protocol and made no real changes, he said. Barber said that they found salvation through Christianity during his time in prison and that he had formed a friendship with Sarah Gregory, a granddaughter of the victim. Gregory has said she forgives him and did not want to see him executed. I don't want people to think, well, I want to die, he said. Nobody wants to die. I think there's a lot that I can accomplish and people I can help. Change hurts. I like to be around, or I would. But to make it clear, I'm not hanging on to this life. Barber execution was also the first to be carried out under a new procedure approved by the state Supreme Court that allows the governor to set a time frame for when a death row inmate can be put to death, rather than when a single day with a midnight deadline. Ivy previously said that a brief pause in executions was necessary to make sure that we can successfully deliver that justice and that closure to victims' families. The change came following a string of problematic executions in Alabama last year. After 3 months review, Ivy announces that executions will resume. This is the thing. When you beat, when you beat a 75-year-old woman to death, even if it was a 75-year-old man, if you beat a person that old to death, do you really think they're gonna overturn your death sentence to life? Think about that. We talking about beating. You beat an elderly woman to death. So at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? You already know knew what was going to happen. Why you try fighting it? You see what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I think people gotta understand that you can't trust people to come to your house, work for you, none of that. Because this is what happened. And, I don't know if I could be friends with a person who killed my loved one and sitting on death row. I'm not gonna be friends with you. Because at the end of the day, you didn't give the person I love the dignity and respect. So why should I give you dignity and respect? You know what I'm saying? I just sometimes I, sometimes I'm gonna tell you why victims' family decides to forgive the person when they're going to be executed on death row. A lot of times it's because they don't want to carry that burden with them for the rest of their lives. So a lot of time they just say, uh, "I forgive you. I just want to make this right." Let's because sometimes things like this can hang over a victim's head forever. And as traumatic as the event was, to continue to live the nightmare, the family just want to forgive and move on. And so I think they took time to evaluate themselves before the victim chose to befriend this individual. But a lot of victims befriend the person because they love them, which I don't know. Now, it also said the victim, the 75-year-old victim. Now we're gonna go to our last location, which is Oklahoma. The next one is out of Oklahoma. The inmate who was executed was Jermaine. Jermaine. Let's see. Oklahoma executes a man for the 1995 butcher knife slaying of a Tulsa woman. McClass, Mc, 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 McAllister, Oklahoma. Oklahoma executed a man Thursday for stabbing a Tulsa woman to death with a butcher knife in 1995 after he escaped from a prison center. Jermaine Canfield received a lethal injection at 10:01 a.m. and was pronounced dead 12 minutes later at the Oklahoma State Penitentiary in McAllister. It was the second execution in Oklahoma this year and the ninth since the state resumed lethal injections in 2021. Cannon was convicted of killing 20-year-old Shonda Clark, a mother of two, with whom Cannon had been living at an apartment in Tulsa after he escaped weeks earlier from a prison work center in southwest Oklahoma. Cannon had been serving a 15-year sentence for the violence of another woman who suffered permanent injuries after prosecutors said Cannon raped her and beat her viciously with a claw hammer, iron, and a kitchen toaster. Federal appeal court late Wednesday denied Cannon's last-minute appeal, seeking a stay of execution in which Cannon claimed, among other things, that he was a Native American and not subject to Oklahoma jurisdiction. As if he had any last words, Cannon said, "Yes, I confess with my mouth and believe in my heart that God raised Jesus from the dead, therefore I am saved. Thank you." Cannon was executed on the same day that Cannon was executed on the same day that Alabama planned to execute James Barber for the 2001 beating death of a woman, and will be Alabama's first state injection after a paused execution following a string of problems with inserting the IVs. Clark's eldest daughter, Yee Sing White, and Clark's sister, Shaya Duncan, witnessed Cannon's execution and described it as peaceful. In my opinion, he died in a very comfortable way, White said, and a very sad and very favorable way, White said. Unfortunately, my mom did not have that opportunity. Cannon claimed at his clemency hearing before the Oklahoma Parole Board last month that he killed Clark in self-defense. I am deeply disheartened at the act of defending my life and an act that was intended against me and ever happened. Cannon told the board via video feed from the state penitentiary. Cannon's attorney, Mark Henry, Henriksen also told the panel that Karen's trial and appellate attorneys were ineffective. How do you kill a 20-year-old woman who was a mother of two? I just don't understand what made you that upset. But again, you don't. When you kill somebody, you either get life or death. And when you get death penalty, good luck trying to fight to get life. And the thing is this: how gruesome the crime is. Do you really think that's gonna overturn the death sentence from death to life? You gotta understand something. It was gruesome. You got what was given to you. You took a woman's life. The prison took your life. The state took your life. Like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, hit the cash app, money sign, capital CPA 106. Again, hit the cash app, money sign, capital CPA 106. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.